Hello there ladies and gentlemen, TX141 here, also known as Paul, bringing you the 15th instalment of my War Thunder Live series. Now as you're all aware, usually at every 5th episode I like to do something a little bit different and rather special. The 10th episode involved me taking part in the Fight of the Swallows event in my P51D Mustang going up against the enemy 262s. However, for the 15th episode I wanted to do something a little bit different and something that has been highly requested. Yes, it looks like we've got a LaGG-3-23 sitting on a runway in a test flight, and for most of you that would be rather monotonous. However, this is no ordinary test flight. Reason being, sitting in front of me right now in a picture about to appear on your screen is an image of a Hotas Thrustmaster joystick setup. Excuse me for mincing my words. I recently unwrapped this and got it set up, and this will be the first ever time I've used a joystick in realistic mode for War Thunder. I've got no idea of what's going to happen. I've done my best to get it set up based on some controls set up by SilencerBF. Feel free to check out the video in the description for reference. And I thought I'd share this with you all because a number of you have requested me to see what a joystick would be like in realistic mode. And also I believe that this is the way to get to get more out of your aircraft in realistic mode by comparison with the limited setup of the mouse and keyboard. So, the idea here is a test flight in a plane I recently acquired from the War Thunder raffle, since War Thunder is 2 years old, as of about half a month ago. I'm going to take myself up to about 1,000 meters altitude and just practice some basic maneuvers such as turns, gentle dives, zooms, and perhaps even try and fit in a hammerhead somewhere. With that being said, let's see if we can just put our flaps up. Take off flaps, we're ready to go. Okay, throttle on gently. 55%. Okay, 100%. Okay, 98, that'll do. Hand off the throttle. Okay. We're in the air. Gear up. Flaps raised. Okie dokie. Now I can't view left or right at the moment, which bemuses me a little bit because I did have that set up. But nonetheless, we'll have to investigate that shortly. Okay, we're up in the air. That's zoom. Now I did have a button for tracking targets. I don't think... No, I can't lock onto the target behind me because I'm not looking at it right now. That's a bit of an irritation. Nonetheless, we're up in the air, so let's make a gentle bank and just pull up on the stick. There we go, making our first ever turn in War Thunder. Okay, let's level her out. A little bit archaic, I know, it's like watching a baby take its first steps. I say it's because I'm not defining he or she here, not transgender. But yes, this is good. We've got ourselves locked onto our target. So that's the zoom button, I keep forgetting. The trace button is that one there. I'm tracing it right now. Okay. I apologise if I sound a little bit skittish or nervous. This is brand new to me. This is quite the experience right now because let me give you a little bit of history about me and joysticks in terms of flight simulators. That did come out a little bit wrong, I must admit. When I was a little boy, so when I was about 7-8 years old, my dad was a massive fan of Jane's Combat Simulator and Microsoft Flight Sim in terms of the combat ones, and I used to come home from primary school and I'd run upstairs, say hello to my dad, give him a big hug and all that, and he used to play those games and he was great. I mean, especially if you put him in a P47 Thunderbird, he loved that plane so much, or a Focke-Wulf 190A. And I used to run out to my dad and go, "Can I give it a go, Dad? Can I give it a go?" And he'd always set up a mission whereby you'd have 10 C-47 Dakota transports, can't fire back, they've got no turrets, and I would be flying, say, a Focke-Wulf 190 or a Spitfire, and I'd have a go on a very simplified setup of his old Microsoft joystick. I can't remember which one. And I used to love it. I'd sit on his lap. It's great. And this is bringing back memories. This is really bringing back memories. Alright, that's another turn. Can we bank the other way? Rudder down. Cool, yeah, look at... Okay, right, that's the instructor kicking in. That's fair enough. Because we tried overshooting that a little bit. And the plane will roll like that if we try and force it too much. Okay. So we've got some altitude. Let's turn off the throttle and see if we can hit the ground target. Now I picked the LaGG-3-23 not only because I've just unlocked it in terms of the War Thunder raffle, but also because the LaGG-3 in general was a very common monoplane to the Soviet Air Force at the start of the Second World War, or their entry, and it is quite a basic aircraft. I could have gone with a Spitfire, but I wanted to go with something which I've flown in realistic mode before, or a variant of in realistic mode before, and just give it a go. Okay, I've got to bring the nose up a little bit, and got it. Okay, a little bit sharp on the nose there. Okay, it's going to take me a little bit of time to get used to it. I see, you've got... Right, to explain why I'm having trouble putting my nose down, I've got all my dead zone settings to 0. There's no hypothetical dead zone, but at the same time I've got no multiplier on the joystick setup. For those of you who've set a joystick up before, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about probably and be laughing at me right now. Essentially, I've got the joystick set up so it's very basic. So if I only give the rudder a slight tap, such as now, as you can see, the plane will only want to go slightly to the right thanks to the rudder. Although this is actually a pretty nice angle to cruise on. And if I give it a slight roll to the left and a little bit of rudder before braking around, it will only do that very gently or as severely as I want it to. Of course, depending on what aircraft you fly and how you like your settings, it will differ. So let's level her out once more. Okay, so this is pretty nice. And I won't keep going on about this test flight forever, obviously, because it'll get a little bit wearisome. I just want to try one more tactic, well, technique more than tactic, or an ACM, Air Combat Maneuver. And that is I'm going to give a hammerhead a go now. I'm only 600 meters above the ground, so I want to get a little bit of altitude first. But this is really good fun already. And I'm having to get used to the fact, for those of you who play arcade non-stop, or even have used mouse and keyboard in realistic mode, the plane always resets itself to a standard horizontal position. Right now I've got both hands off of the whole joystick setup and my plane is just climbing. If I was playing arcade mode, the plane would have leveled out by now. So I've got to get used to the fact I've got full input at all times, and I personally cannot actually see my level indicator, i.e. to tell me whether I'm flying completely level. I believe that would be just a little bit below on the bottom of the screen right now, so I'm going to have to look into setting up the view axis, because I need to be able to see that to tell when I'm leveled out. Right, so I'm going to try a hammerhead. Now to do a hammerhead, as we all know, we need to put the nose almost dead vertical, cut our speed, and we've got to apply the rudder to the full and bring the plane's nose back down to the ground. So, okay, I'm going to keep the throttle on for this, simply because I don't have much experience. I want to be able to get the most out of the plane. And here we go. So, I've got my nose up full. I'm going to kick the left rudder in. Plane's rolling. Hold on, I think we got it. No, plane decided to roll out. Almost had it. Okay, now think, how would you do a hammerhead? How would you do a hammerhead if you were flying arcade? You put the plane up. Okay, we're going to build up our speed again. I'm going to give it one more go. I build up my speed and I would kick the rudder around as much as possible. Okay, so really as soon as I start, I want to be kicking the rudder. So, okay, we're going to go up. Okay, just full rudder. I'm not turning the stick. Okay, we almost got it. Yes, we got it. I think we got some sort of hammerhead in there. Hey, not too bad. Just to be a little bit disconcerting, let's give it a go outside of the cockpit. Now, for the purposes of flying with joystick, I will stay in the cockpit, but I just want to see if I'm doing the manoeuvre correctly from a different perspective. So, fall back. Okay, dead vertical, full rudder. Okay, I see what the problem is. Just not giving it enough, but we're coming back around again, which is nice. So we'll have to work on that. Right, nonetheless, we're going to let it go. And now we're going to put all the, well, our small training period into a game. After we've landed, of course. Because as all good pilots know, if you take off, you've got to land. So this is going to be the first time I've ever landed. Now I've got no idea where the runway is. Is there a map setting? I've got M on my keyboard, so the base is to my left. So we managed to complete a close resemblance of a hammerhead, or, well, fingers crossed, so, and we've managed to make basic turns, so we're going to stick to boom and zoom and turn fighting for the purposes of getting used to things. Now, where is that airfield? I see it. Okay, now the plane's going to want to show some resistance upon landing. Okay, now I'm coming in a bit too early on the low. Right, I'm coming in way too hot in order to land. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to circle around. So I'm going to brake out to the side. And give this another attempt. So I'm flying over the airfield right now and it's not that low. No, sorry, it's not that far below me. Okay, so we're going to bring her around. Without crashing into the ground, preferably. Just panicking a bit. Throttle off. Right, I see where it is. So gear, landing flaps. Coming in a little hot. A little too hot. Yep, little hot. Ooh, that was a bit rough. Right, dead stick. Right, now I've got no brakes here. Ah, I can use brakes off of B. I see. Okay, I can't get them set up on the joystick at the moment. That's fair enough. So I'll just use it off of the keyboard. I think we did it. Have we landed it? Hey, we landed it! Hey! Ah, well. It is time to get into a game and see if we can take down an enemy fighter. Although, that would be a miracle, right? Okay, so it looks as though we're in Operation Corson, which means it's going to be Russia versus Germany. Should be interesting. Okay, and, well, we won't need the full hour, that's what I will say. Fair enough. Let's give this a go for our first ever attempt. It's a battle in progress, so I want my standard view. And here we go. %. Got a friendly SU-2 on our right. Got the view control fixed slightly as well. Although when I intend to look behind me, oh sorry, not look behind me, excuse me, that was incorrect. Landing gear up. When I want to look at the instruments down below, I get a good look at them, but I also get a good look at my crotch. Now, I'm going to be honest, that's not the way to fly normally, so it's a work in the making. How I can look directly above me, I can look behind me to my left, to my right, and I get a slanted view at each side, which it's hard to achieve, but I've got to get used to it, but it's good enough. How about, and also I get a side view high. So I'm going to have to work on setting those angles. However, it's a work in progress. And also in between, I've also set my machine gun to a sort of top button on the joystick. It's hard to explain. And I've got the machine gun and cannon on the actual joystick trigger. So that way I'm not going to use up all my ammunition. And this is my first ever time out. Got to admit, it's rather nerve-wracking. We've got some observation aircraft to deal with, a BF-110. And I think that may be the target we should go for today, because we're new, we're inexperienced, and we're more here for the morale factor for the Russian side, rather than the actual combat factor. Got a bit of wind, I can feel the resistance kicking up over the wings. And the LaGG-3 historically was more of a moderate altitude fighter. It wasn't ideally suited for low altitude fighting compared to the Yak-7 that's floating along at 2.90 kilometers. So just going to take it easy, just going to keep our cool. Now one thing I will say, between this and the test flight I showed you, I took the plane out for another test flight. I made a couple of modifications to the overall views, and I wanted to check those out before I went into a game, of course. And when I took off, I noticed that with a joystick you have to be very careful on your input, or at least for the settings I'm using. The reason being, and please correct me if I'm wrong and provide advice in the comments if you know how to set up a joystick much better than I've got it set up here, because I'm a complete novice. If you make the joystick input more than, say, one item at a time, so if you try and force the rudder and roll at the same time, it seems to struggle to react. Now, I'm not sure whether that's because, a nerd moment incoming here, because of the potentiometers in the joystick just cannot react to two commands at once, or just because perhaps I'm forcing the plane here to do something which it shouldn't be able to do historically. But my little bit of advice would be patient when using the joystick, because already before even going into combat I found a little bit of frustration, and I'm sure that with time we can get there. Just going to pull up. Now you see here I can make a gentle turn, and I'm pulling a little bit on the joystick and applying a small bit of rudder just to bring myself around with time. And that's what I was saying. Essentially, to make manoeuvres you've got to be very haphazard and essentially very infantile in your overall steps. You can't make a plane do two things at once, or at least not at my level. Now I've got an enemy fighter down low. I'm not sure whether it's behind me. Yep, it's behind me. It's a Heinkel 111. Thank you, wonderful map, for telling me. Got an I-16 coming on the BF-110 here, so I may not get a chance to take some shots. Scratch that, I think I am. This 110 seems to be going down in terms of altitude, so going to try and come onto them a little bit here. Right, overshot a little bit, but this should set me up for a nice follow-on. Okay, I'm going to break off because I'm not sure where the 110 is right now. Okay, so we've got a Heinkel here. Got a pair of them actually. One of them is breaking off, the other one is coming around. So, right, I'm catching this Heinkel. Level it out, it's only a V, so you can always get away from it. Steady as she goes. Remember, we're going up against a player here, so they will... Hold on, this one here has got no energy left in it. Easy now. Easy now. I overshot. Okay, pull up. Gonna go into a gentle loop. Gonna cut off throttle. I think I've gone into a spin. I've gone into a spin, okay. Find where everyone is. Find where everyone is. Right, there they all are. Okay. Got an enemy plane to my right. I'm not sure what it is. It's a 109F, or is that higher? Right, it's below me. Okay, so, try again. Coming in fast, but you've got time. That's all you need. Easy now, girl. Gonna zoom in for this. Got a hit. Almost got another hit. Got to get the nose up though. I've got to get the nose up. Steady her out, calm down. Breathe in. Breathe in. Ah, I missed him. Right, nose down, cut the throttle, you can make them overshoot. Right. Come out of this zoomed view, there we go. Right, I think my opponent is... yeah, there they are. I just can't get the shot. But they are flying right underneath me, right? Whoa, that was close. Right, I've got to break off. I've got to break off. I've got a 109 coming in on me as well. You're going to hear it. There it goes. Right, nose to the ground. It is not easy hitting someone. That I will say right now, it is not easy. I'm gonna bring the nose around. Cool the heart rate, cool the heart rate. Now I've got something coming in on me. It is, it's a BF-110, it was low. Okay, that's the wrong button. Okay, now I should be coming around on this one. Nope. Because I applied too much rudder there, so I've lost my nose. Okay. Okay. Yes, I got one! No way! Oh my god! Yes! Look behind, right, there could be someone behind you. Right, that guy, I can't see him very well. I think he's coming after me, so brake. Brake really hard, you're really low to the ground as well. Do not force the nose down, otherwise you're going to be in trouble. Right, bank the other way, quick. Right, whatever you do, do not overfeed the joystick. You're going to be fine. Yeah, he was the one who flew after me. Right, I've got to remember the button to track a target right now. Right, nose down, nose down. You haven't got the speed. You're going to stall. Right, easy go, easy go. Right, they're flying. He's flying just off to my left side right now. Right, I can come around on you. I could chase this. That's going in anyway, I think. No, it's not. It's just running. I'm really sorry if my reaction was terrible on the ears, folks. This is a really proud moment for me. Right. I've got a lot of ammo left, and I've got a 109F, and it's coming around. Oh, I got hit. Machine gun fire, but I got hit. Only gently. Right, they're using their more powerful engine. Right, my plane's just decided to roll the opposite way now. I think that's instructor kicking. Yes, that is instructor kicking in. So, I know I've definitely got this guy on my tail right now. Come on, teammate, give me a hand here. Yep, he went down. Thank you, Yak7, for saving me. Alright. I was fortunate there. I got away with it, quite luckily. Got to be grateful for people. Sorry, grateful to people, not for people. Okay, what else we got to kill? 2 planes left. Okay, so we've learnt a valuable lesson. And that is that this plane at lower speed will not manoeuvre very well, so we're going to come around in a gentle turn. We've got a 109 ML to deal with. Now, to be honest, I've got no idea where this last enemy guy is. Stop flying straight. Ooh, that was close. I can feel that. There's all anti-air guns, anti-air guns down on my left-hand side. Okay, so the water's cooling a little bit. It's been a good day so far. Just bring the nose up a little bit. I'm dropping altitude too early. Tell you one thing, flying in third person is one view, but flying from the cockpit is something very different. It's incredibly different. Now that I-16 is climbing, which would lead me to believe that I'm going to need to climb as well to hit my last target. It's a shame we couldn't get those kills and those hind calls, but that was me rushing into things. Yeah, I was being greedy. But I'm sure historically pilots had just as much trouble as myself, if not more. Virtual reality can only go so far. Now, wherever this last foe is, I don't think we're going to see them before the end of the game, to be honest. Just going by the fact that our team's already capturing the flag. And there's another heavy tank that someone's engaging. Aha, somebody has found a Junkers 88. I-5, so where's that grid quadrant? Okay, so if I carry on my current bearing, I won't make it to target now because the game is over. It's a shame. I see it. 15 kilometers away. It's that black speck in the distance. Well, that's it. Okay, so a quick recap of that game. We managed to get our first ever joystick kill in RB. And whilst it was quite a bit of stress and tension because we tried to get a kill on either one of a pair of Heinkel 112s, it was just not to be. But we managed to break onto the back of a Messerschmitt 110 C4 and rip their right wing off for our first kill. And then we had a lucky escape from Messerschmitt 109 F1, who'd probably just run out of cannon ammunition in the midst of their dogfight with a friendly Yak-7B. And thanks to that Yak-7B, we lived to fight another day when we tried overcompensating with the rudder in order to brake hard on a left-hand turn, which clearly the LaGG-3-23 doesn't like, or I'm just not used to making those turns with a joystick setup yet. 3,232 research points, which, my goodness, that's quite a bit, even if this is a premium plane. Well, by my standards it is. And let's take it. Well, we acquitted ourselves well. We came fourth, and it's a shame we couldn't get onto the back of the Junkers 88A4 in the end. But I think it's a good thing we broke away and we lived to fight another day. That's more valuable than life over a risky encounter which could have gone horrifically wrong. However, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I've got time for today. And if you've got any suggestions on how I can improve my joystick setup, or just tips for flying with a joystick in general, please feel free to leave a comment of that type, simply because it will help to make my next outing with the joystick even more enjoyable, although this has been incredible enough as it is. Additionally, if you have enjoyed this episode of War Thunder Live, be sure to leave a like, comment or subscribe for future War Thunder videos on my channel. Yet until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care and good luck in the skies.